Hey, this is Scott. Thanks for checking out this video. A lot of times newer photographers ask, how do you carry big lenses? What kind of monopod should I get? Do I need a ball head? Do I not need a ball head? Do I need a tripod? Well, this video is going to show you what I use, why I use it, and maybe give you some ideas to think about what you can do. First of all, let's start with a monopod. I honestly don't know where this came from, but it is cheap and it has one of these. No, don't even use those things. Well, how about a cheap tripod with a little handle on it? Don't use a tripod for sports. Just don't do it. All right, let's start by recommending monopods. I would not only recommend one monopod, but it never hurts to have a backup. So during any field sport season, football, soccer, baseball, I have both of these in my car at all times in case one of them breaks or quits working. The thing I like about this is the clamp system. It's easy to clamp. I'll step back so you can see that when I want to extend this, I'm carrying the 400 on my shoulder. I can pop this, gravity just kind of pulls it right out, and there we go, I'm ready to go. And then when I need to move again, I pick it up, pull the first one up, pull the second one up too, and I'm compact in no time at all. So I don't have to worry about, am I turning it the right way or the wrong way? Is it locked in place? Is it not? If this clamp is clamped, it's in place and it's not going anywhere. So that's why I prefer this system. And again, this is old. I'm not sure you can even get these anymore, but they're working well for me. So I'm going to keep using them till they break or I can't use them anymore. The other thing I do want to note is these came with a little socket that fits in here specifically. These will get loose over time. And so there's nothing worse than when you clamp this down and then it starts to slide because this whole piece right here has gotten loose. And so you always want to make sure you have the tool that can tighten that. You would think it would work to have a regular socket set, but no, it won't fit inside there. So I literally have the tool that came with this monopod from the day I bought it, and it's in my bag all the time. So that's what I would recommend for a monopod. You'll also see some tape here. This is actually tape that you put on stairs to help get grip on stairs. I put 2 pieces of that on the monopod. So rather than grabbing the aluminum, or if it's carbon fiber, when it's wet and cold, those things get slick. And so I always have a place where I can grab the monopod and know that I have a good firm grip. This is kind of like sandpaper. It's a lot what it's like. So I would recommend that as well. And then I'll explain the rubber bands here just in a little bit. All right, now let's talk about how to use the monopod. Most people probably just screw the monopod directly into the foot of the lens. A 400-2.8 lens like this, I believe, has 2 holes at the bottom of it that you can screw the monopod in. Let me make a side note here and say that I would also recommend Optec Pro Loop straps. These Pro Loop straps connect right up here like most straps would, but they also have these clips. The nice thing about this is I can take off this part of the strap and get rid of it, clip these 2 pieces back together, and now I can kind of flip this out of the way, and I don't have a lot of strap hanging around. I've got this much, and frankly, that's kind of a pain at times, but it's significantly less than having a full strap. I have seen guys running up and down the sideline with a strap hanging around their back and getting it caught on a band instrument or something else. And so this just keeps all that strap stuff out of the way because I don't need it when I'm using this lens. All right, let's talk about how I connect my monopod to the lens. I don't screw it directly into the lens. What I do is use a clamp system. This is a Wimberley lens plate. It's longer than the lens foot of the 400. I don't really mind that. I can slide this up and down and move it wherever I want for balance. I pretty much put it in a place that allows me to grip it right here. So I can grip this thing just like if I was gripping the lens plate by itself. Canon does allow you to remove this lens foot, and you can purchase a lens foot that has basically this plate groove built into it. I think they're $200 or $300. I don't remember, frankly. Clearly, I've never used one. So why do I use the clamp system? There's a few reasons. One is I don't really like the time it takes to screw the monopod into the lens and unscrew it. I like to be able to get this lens off this monopod quickly if I need to. Frankly, if I'm shooting college or NFL football game, usually this is on here most of the time. But if I want to remove it, it just takes one turn of the clamp and now I've disconnected everything. If I want to put it back on, it just fits right in there. 2 turns of the clamp and it doesn't go anywhere. I have never had this lens clamp or lens foot come off, move, get loose, or anything in almost 20 years of photography. And this is how I've been using this setup and how long I've been using it. The one thing I would not recommend is a gimbal. I just don't understand why somebody needs a gimbal for long glass like this, especially because a ball head is just a big opportunity for failure, in my opinion. Now, I have a ball head for my tripod, and I like it because I can move that lens setup wherever I need. If I'm shooting landscapes or nightscapes or the stars, I can move that thing anywhere. But frankly, when you're shooting with long glass like this, you don't have to go up and down like this very much. You'd be surprised at how little a movement like this changes where you're shooting. So if I'm shooting downfield, if I'm in the back of the end zone and I'm shooting the plays coming at me at, say, the 40-yard line, or if I'm shooting a baseball game and the play's happening at third base and I'm in the first base photo well, the lens doesn't have to go this much. It only needs to go this much or this much, usually even not even that. So that's why I don't recommend ball heads. I get it that this is a touch point that could go bad, but it's never happened for me in 20 years of using this setup. Again, I think it's quick, easy. I like the clamp system. I like this clamp system, and that's what I use. But I'll show you now one other reason that I like this clamp system. So let's check that out. Okay, now I'm back to the normal setup. I've got my strap back on the camera body. I'm hanging this 24-105 with a 1DX body around my neck. Towards the end of a game, if I know there's gonna be some crazy jube, maybe the crowd's gonna rush the field, and I wanna make sure, get a different shot than shooting here or shooting like this, trying to shoot over other photographers. What I like to do is put a body clamp on the bottom of a body, attach that to the clamp system, take this strap off. This is especially a good time to have a strap that you can remove. I don't need this. It's just going to get in the way. So what I will do is usually not only just clamp this, but if I know I'm going to be in a really crowded situation, I can wrap this around a couple of times and clamp it there. And look at that. No strap in the way at all. It's not going to get caught on anything. So if I'm packed in the scrum trying to get the jube, I have no strap to worry about getting in the way. Hey Scott, how are you going to use this setup and trigger the shutter to take images? That's a great question. And that is where this 4 or 5 feet long remote cable comes in handy. Plug that cable right here into the camera body. Now we're back to the rubber bands. So what I can do next is string this remote through both of these rubber bands. Now I've got the remote cable right here. My strap is out of the way. Actually, I'll run this cable up through the strap. Now that cable is coming all the way down. I've got a rubber band to kind of keep it close to the monopod and another rubber band down there. Now I can hold this up and look how high I can get. So let me show you up close. I'm holding right here and at the very bottom of the tripod, and when I've got that thing lifted all the way up, I can fire the camera. Of course, with a body like this, without a flip out screen, there's a lot of spray and pray, but I really don't care. I would rather have this thing up and be able to angle it to get above the other photographers or the other athletes or whatever I'm trying to shoot. And as you get used to this, you'll kind of know what angles are going to work really well. So that's another reason that I like this clamp on a monopod. I'll also show you another thing you can do with this. Not only is it good for getting up high, but it's also really good for getting down low. But I can get right at the foot of an athlete or a mascot or a group of people. I can stick that inside the group and trigger that camera right there. And it allows me to get into places that are more difficult to get into when you're just hand holding like this. That's the setup I use. I have the 24-105 on here now, but oftentimes I'll put the fisheye lens on here and I call it my fish stick setup. Hopefully you found something useful in this video, whether you're looking for a monopod, trying to figure out how to attach the monopod, how to get different angles when you're shooting jube or in groups of people. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe. I'm gonna try and create more photography content in 2024. So thanks for watching and happy shooting. We'll see you around.